Looking for a cheap car? Do you want an exclusive? Ford Taunus is just such an option. The car appeared in 1976 in 4 versions, 2 and door sedan, coupe and tournée station wagon. In the 80s, they began to produce a pickup truck. He was going to the Turkish branch of Otosan. They were distinguished by rustic finishes and poor quality metal. The most luxurious modifications are Gia and S version. The first was distinguished by wood trim, vinyl outer roof lining, like its American relatives, and the S version was mainly upholstered, Recaro seats, alloy wheels and 195/60 R14 tires. Often on all versions there is a bright interior and striped seats, less often, a sunroof, power mirrors, power windows. The interior of the Taunus is quite spacious and comfortable, although not everyone will like the low, sporty seating position. The 70s model differs from the last generation Taunus, which appeared in 1979. In the height of the roof pillars, their glasses are not interchangeable. The latest version has a generally weaker body than its predecessor. This is especially noticeable in the places where the front suspension beam is attached to the body side members, where dangerous cracks are often found. Corrosion protection was very decent. Rusty places are typical: rear wheel arches, windshield frame, molding attachment points. On running specimens, you can see the bottom corroded by the red disease and damaged spars, cracks in the partition between the engine compartment and the passenger compartment. The problematic place of electrical equipment is the fuse box near the left hinge of the hood. Contacts are oxidized over time from water ingress. Engines. Ford Taunus was equipped with both 4 and 6-cylinder V engines. 4's 1.3 liters with a capacity of 59 and 63 liters. With 1.6L, 70 horsepower, 1.6L, 73 and 90 horsepower, as well as 2.0L, developing 87 and 101 horsepower. There were only 2 6-cylinders, with a working volume of 2.0 liters with a capacity of 90 liters. And 2.3 liters, 114 horsepower. Taunus has the ability to use almost all engines and parts from the late Sierra and Scorpio, as well as from Granada. True, in some cases, modification of the mount, strengthening of the suspension is required. The resource of native engines, subject to all operating rules, is quite high, at least 200,000 kilometers for the 4 and 500,000 kilometers for the 6. Difficulties can be created by adjusting a rather complex V6 carburetor, usually a 2-chamber Solex. Its replacement with Ziguli leads to a drop in power. Transmission. Standard boxes Taunus, 4-speed manual and 3-speed automatic. They are quite durable and have no characteristic defects. Only on some automatic transmissions, the membrane of the vacuum corrector, the automatic transmission control mechanism, can fail. If it breaks, the oil from the automatic transmission will be sucked into the engine through the intake manifold and burn. Problems can create an outboard bearing of the cardan shaft. It is inexpensive, and its service life averages 160 to 200,000 kilometers. Suspension. The Ford Taunus is reminiscent of a Ziguli 1, 2 levers and a spring go to the wheel in front, and a rigid axle on levers and springs in the back. Steering, rack and pinion, on some specimens with hydraulic booster. True, when replacing the rail, our Ford owners prefer to install a cheap option without an amplifier. The tuning of the suspension and steering is such that the car is driven noticeably better than the same Ziguli. Conclusion. The advantage of Ford cars of the 70s, including the Ford Taunus, is simplicity. There is nothing superfluous in them. The motors are durable, the suspension is strong, the spare parts are cheap. You can find them at the dismantling or pick up relatively new ones from Ford Sierra. However, driving an exclusive will require the search and restoration of many parts, and this is troublesome. The main thing is not to buy a completely rusted copy, where holes are hidden under a layer of putty.